Hey guys, this is Gelk Jr. and this is going to be a tutorial on how to DC launch after the Season 8 MCC update. And I apologize in advance, the clips are going to look a little bit choppy. We'll start off with the Shadow of Intent launch. After doing this box launch, you're going to want to delay your checkpoint so we get a good checkpoint for the DC launch. After hitting the Shadow of Intent cutscene, you're going to immediately want to jump and look in this direction. Then after landing from the jump, you're going to want to sit here crouched to ensure you get a checkpoint. While still holding crouch, jump. At this point, you're going to want to throw your DC and start holding forward. Once your feet hit the ground, that's when you release the forward input. Then after releasing the forward input, wait for a brief moment, longer than you might think, then start tapping W. You don't want to mash it, you just want to tap it in the general rhythm I do. Then that's the gist of it. I'll show you some full speed clips just so you have a better idea of what you're doing in real time. Then to note, if you're on controller, it's the same principle, but instead of W presses, you're going to want to replace those with about a quarter of a left stick input while crouched.
Clear this sector while we deal with the flood. Clear this sector while we deal with the flood. Clear this sector while we deal with the flood. Clear this sector while we deal with the flood.
Now I'll show you how to do the redirect launch. This launch is a little bit different, so keep in mind the changes. I used the pack of cigarettes in the corner of the crate to line myself up. Try to mimic my lineup as much as you can, but it's not too precise. So the ground is a little bit warped here, so we're going to use a standing DC launch, or else we'll get pushed back inside the DC pretty much every time. A standing DC launch is pretty much the same as a crouching DC launch, except it is a lot easier to move too far forward in the DC when you're throwing it. So you're going to want to minimize your W input or forward input as much as you possibly can. Also with this launch, you want your forward inputs to happen as soon as you land in the DC, and they want to be more rapid than the crouching launch. So now we'll move on to sideways launches. So sideways launches are still fairly simple. You just basically want to go do the setup we do for our crouching forwards launch, but you're going to want to wait longer in the DC. Then you're going to have a couple options after that. You can either look in the direction you're going to launch and hold A, or you can look in the direction of the front of the DC and hold W. Either way will get you a sideways launch, and I'll show you a few examples.
While we deal with the flood. Clear this sector while we deal with the flood. Clear this sector while we deal with the flood.
So the last launch we're going to talk about is going to be the moment sideways. The moment sideways is going to be similar to a regular sideways, but we're going to be doing a standing setup instead. I'll have a few examples with some inputs, so you can go ahead and try it yourself.
You have been called upon to serve. You have been called upon to serve.
So that's going to be it for this tutorial. I didn't show off backwards launching because I don't have a consistent way of doing it on keyboard yet, but anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope that helped your ability to DC launch.